Tick tock.
What is ticking off here is not the clock, it's your life.
You are running out of time.
I hear the clock ticking. That's what I hear, and the end is nigh.
You don't know how much time you have. You keep telling yourself you got time and watch what happens.
If you don't take a hold of your life, if you don't get serious with what's going on in front of you, you're gonna forfeit everything that you were born to be.
Time waits for no man.
That clock, it's always ticking.
Your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life.
You got to give it everything you got, whether it's your time, your talent, or your treasures.
When's the time to jump in the pool? When's the time to kiss the boy? When's the time to get married? When's the time to take the training wheels off the bike? When's the time to live your life? The answer is, I don't know. Nobody knows. There's no right answer. There's that moment in time.
However you spend your time, that tells you who you are.
Stop waiting for tomorrow. Stop waiting for the perfect moment.
And I'm saying to you, whatever you gotta do it, because if you don't, life is gonna whoop you until you surrender.
Tick tock.
Who's not gonna see you accomplish your goals? Who's not gonna see you blow up? Who's not gonna be able to enjoy the fruits of your labor with you who put in? Why? Because you average. And one day you're gonna be great, but you think you got time.
Fight that ticking clock with everything you got.
Time is one of the most powerful, important tools that any of us will ever get, because time we never get back.
You got to have faith, and that faith gives you patience. That it's not gonna happen as quickly as you want it to happen.
There's not an hour that's gonna go by. There's not a minute that's gonna go by that is not accounted for.
Greatness takes time.
Tick tock.
Ladies and gentlemen, in 3 years, I doubled my NBA income in the marketplace. You hearing what I'm saying? And I've never had a real job, but I got a mindset. Lesson number one. For you to get to that next level, here's what you need: information. You need to get information. No offense, I don't even watch TV. CNN don't pay my bills. Okay? Power don't pay my bills. I don't even watch TV. I might catch a sporting event, or don't get mad about a football game. I love to watch football. But I don't watch TV. Why? It's unproductive in my opinion. I get 24 hours a day just like Bill Gates. I get 24 hours a day just like Beyonce and Jay-Z. You get 24 hours a day, ladies and gentlemen. What do you do with your 24 hours? You need to get more information. In our coaching program, all we do is drop content nonstop. And people are like, wow, I didn't know that. Wow, I didn't know that. See, you don't even know what you don't know. How did you let me come from behind and clip you? Do you guys know the studies show the better we look, the more money we make? Which means your website should pass the eyeball test. Your truck should pass the eyeball test. Your people should pass the eyeball test. You should pass the eyeball test. Everybody in this room has a promised land somewhere, but you can't be stuck on the city you like. You gotta hear God and go to your promised land. Your promised land might be Utah. Your promised land might be Minnesota. Your promised land might be Wyoming. Hear me clearly. You better use your money to get information and access, and you better be flexible, because a real shark is flexible. Can we stop fronting and get real about this thing? And if I can do it, you can do it. I knew nothing about life. I knew nothing about business, but I had the right mindset, and I learned it through sports. And y'all gotta hear my story so you understand. I didn't even start on my college basketball team. I came off the bench. At the University of Minnesota, I came off the bench. But in my mind, you can bring me off the bench, but I'm an NBA ball player when you get through talking. When you get through, I'm an NBA ball player. And that's why I would walk around and say, you can't check me. You can't check me. You can't check me. If I was you, I would walk around every day and say, I'm a millionaire. I'm a millionaire. I declare it right now. I'm worth millions. I'm worth millions. I will receive my salary right now, but I won't accept it as my value. So whatever you receive right now, receive it, but don't you accept it as your value. Because there's more out here for you if you change your mindset.
It's time. At some point, you have to see that you're not simply playing conservatively. You're not being a perfectionist. It's not about being okay with where you are. No, if we're going to get anywhere, let's be truthful. Let's call it what it is. These things, these ideas, these excuses are a derivative of fear. The problem with possibility is that it's incredibly hard to quantify. Technically, if you've never had it, you've never lost it. And that is how we rationalize staying where we are. That's why we compartmentalize the things we want most as dreams. But for a second, let's be bigger. Let's start from the premise that what life can provide or become is limitless. It is truly infinite. And when you sit on an idea or you refuse to begin, you are in fact losing. Every single thing around you, everything. At one point, it began. At one point, someone summoned the courage to reach out and take what's in front of them. Maybe you do the same. Maybe you take that step. Maybe the first few times go terribly wrong. Maybe it's terrifying. Maybe you find out who has your back, who your real friends are, and maybe those truths scare you. But guess what? Guess what those steps turn into? Confidence, amplified purpose, and most importantly, more steps. You get to see right in front of you as your demons diminish, evaporate. The higher you climb, the better the view, the longer the road, the greater the experience. I would rather fall 1,000 times and continuously get back up stronger than be someone who looks at the world through a window like it's some fairy tale. Because at the end of the day, sure, they have no scratches, scrapes, or bruises, but I have no limits, and I'd make that trade any day. It is time to stop separating what you want from what you have and take that step forward. It's time to go get it. No one is stopping you. Nothing is stopping you. And in fact, if you choose to be, you are unstoppable. So take a look in the mirror, lace up your shoes, open the door, and begin. It's time.
Get out of your own way. Get up and rise. This is your year. Rise. This is your time. Rise. This is your hour. Rise. This is your second. Rise to the occasion and be amazing. How bad do you want it? How bad is it burning inside of you? Are you willing to do what it takes to be successful? It might mean getting up 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 2 o'clock. You gotta get up and do something to make yourself better. How about you start doing something for you right here, right now? Doesn't matter what time. Start being amazing. Start being great. Once you make a conscious decision that today's your day, it's not tomorrow, it's not someday, it's not one day, it's now. Dig deep, take accountability for your goals, dreams, and aspirations. Ain't nobody gonna give you nothing. Ain't nobody gonna give you nothing if you ain't working for it. Do you, be you, for you. Rise.
I'll do whatever it takes. And the reason why some of you can't get to that next level, you don't have enough stuff in you to push you to get through some of the hell you gotta go through. That house ain't gonna get you through that hell. That car ain't gonna get you through that hell. Humans do not transition to another level when they're comfortable with the level that they're on. You only go to another level when you're on this level and you eating out of trash cans and you say, enough is enough. You only transition from one level to the next when you're tired of the level you on. You don't transition in life if you're happy with where you are. And the problem with some of you is you happy being broke. What fuels you? The reason why you so lazy is not because you don't have the ability. You so lazy because your dream's so small. I want you to live the life you were meant to live. You hear me? Not the life that was given to you.
Time is all we have. This moment, right now.
There's only one thing in our lives that we're never able to reacquire once it's gone. And I'm not talking about money, I'm not talking about material items, I'm talking about time. And it's such a unique concept, unique idea, because when utilized correctly, it contains the ingredients to success, to happiness, to growth, prosperity, all the things we want. But at the very same time, if neglected, it leaves us with very little. Because the truth is, every morning when you wake up, you are living minutes you will never get back. You are breathing air you will never take in again. It is your one opportunity to embrace this gift. And every second sees a little of it slip away. And my point is that there is no moment more important, more perfect than right now. Not in a week, not after your promotion, not in 30 years when you plan to retire and relax. Right now. See, we have this mentality that the future's going to somehow mean more than the present. That if we suffer now, or if we're unhappy now, that we'll save the best in life for some other time. But the reality is, we don't get younger. Yes, we should be working hard. Absolutely. Success comes from effort, hard work, dedication, persistence. But the key is, allocate your precious time to the work, to the things that make you feel like today is powerful. That right now is so amazing you don't want it to end. Today is when you take the first step towards the things you want. When you become who you want to become. No one is ever or will ever keep you from that other than yourself. There is no ceiling, there is no limitation, there is no special requirement. There is you and what you allow yourself to accomplish. You are the gatekeeper. You have your foot on the gas pedal. And it's so easy to point to others, right? To point to our environment, to blame things on everything. But our own decision, our decision to stick to the status quo. Because believe it or not, it is that simple. You are where you are because that's where you've decided to be. And you've accepted that as okay. Look, if you want change, then manufacture change. Create a plan and move, go, transform. Step out of your head and into the real world. Think about how lucky we are to be alive in this day and age with access to all the information we could ever dream of, technology that enables growth, freedom to pursue any path that looks appealing, anything we could ever want is right in front of us, yet we don't embrace it. Why? Why in the world would we let that be? Nothing is more important in life than living it. Nothing makes us feel more energized, more free, more happy than following the path we were meant to take. It's having the courage to step over the obstacles, to face the challenges, to be uncomfortable. And at the beginning, it's tough, right? Change is tough. Getting what you want isn't easy. There's a period of struggle, of growth, but once you get through it, you understand what living really is. Which brings us right back to the concept of time, our small existence on this planet, the greatest gift a human being can receive. You, by default, have it. Don't ever let it be in vain. The future isn't when happiness someday occurs. It's a continuation of you living every moment to the fullest, from now until your last. Make every trip around the sun better than the previous. Never let a moment of sunshine, clouds, or rain deprive you of your gift. Be the best version of yourself you can be. Live the life you were meant to live. All it takes is a simple decision.
One commodity that is most valuable on this earth is time. Time to love, time to live. From the moment the human body is born, it begins dying. I don't think you quite caught that. Let me say it again. From the moment the human body is born, it begins dying. Some happen faster, some happen slower. Some of us help them go faster, and some of them prevent it from happening sooner than later. How many seconds, how many minutes do we waste every day doing things that are nowhere near the goals and aspirations and passions that we have inside? How many times do you go through the course of a day and realize, did I do anything I set out to do today? Write down those goals each and every day. No matter if it's 2 goals a day, if you can accomplish those, then you're doing more than just making it through the day. You are living and achieving your dreams. Find time to better yourself. Read, explore, research. Live life. Do things you've never thought of doing before. That's what it's all about. When you're born, that's that date that they put on the left side of the tombstone. When you die, they put another date on the right side of the tombstone. But that dash in the middle is the most important thing on that tombstone. That is a line that throughout that entire time frame, you were able to impact and touch others' lives. You were able to leave your mark on this earth. You were able to build a legacy that nobody could change. You were able to have it to where people remembered who you are no matter what. When you're living for that dash in the middle, you're going to remember your why. Your why you're here. Not the why did you do something. Your why, your reason for getting up in the morning, your reason for pushing yourself past the brink of exertion and giving up. Your reason for moving on and getting things done in life. That dash in the middle, that's the thing that pushes you.
How do you rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10 in terms of your physical appearance, in terms of your health? Do you take care of yourself? Are you allowing yourself to get overweight and out of shape? Are you conscious of your health? Are you watching the food that you take into your body? Do you make a deliberate effort to exercise? You know, it was George Burns, he said, we cannot help getting older, but we don't have to get old. And many of us get old before our time because we don't take time to take care of ourselves. Your environment is a very good indicator. On a scale of 1 to 10, is it what you want it to be? Do you find it desirable? Are you satisfied? The job or career that you're involved in. Someone said that 85% of the American public are unhappy with their jobs. Are you spending 8 hours a day just doing time? Doing something that you don't find challenging, that does not make you stretch mentally, that does not stimulate you, that does not inspire you. Something that you don't find a sense of fulfillment in it. If you're doing that day in and day out, it has to affect how you feel about yourself, your level of motivation. Your relationships. What kind of impact is it having on your life? Is it nourishing or is it a toxic relationship? Does it drain you or does it build you up? Ask yourself that. How motivated are you to do something about it? your contribution, your actions. What are you giving? Many people will leave the universe without a trace. No one will know they were here. And in fact, under their name, we could put under there, not used up. Will anybody know that you came this way? What contribution are you giving? What will you leave? What will be different because you came this way?
Just stop for a second. Write down your why. What are you doing this for in life? If your why doesn't make you cry, then that's not your why. Again, if your why doesn't make you cry, then that's not your why. Your why should be something so big that it moves your family tree. Your why should be something so big that it changes the whole outlook on how things are with you and your home, your family, your religion, your purpose. Think about your passion. Think about your opportunities. And that's how you find your purpose. OPP. When that why meets up with your passion, your opportunity, your purpose, then you'll find out. The most important day in your life is the day you remember why you were born.
Say no to everything that doesn't support your immediate goals.
41% of items that people put on their to-do list are never done at all. Wow. It's like a to-do list is the graveyard of, important but not urgent. And when you truly realize just how valuable a single minute is. I mean, money, we can lose it and make it back again. Our health, we can get sick and get healthy again. Time, once it's gone, it is gone. Time is life.
The 15 secrets successful people know about time management. The productivity habits of 7 billionaires, 13 Olympic athletes, 29 straight-A students, and 239 entrepreneurs. You might not use all of them, but if you use 1, 2, 3, or 4 of them, I'm telling you, you're going to get a lot more out of your day.
Anyone can make a big difference.
Absolutely. And we all have the same amount of time. Every single one of us has the same amount of time, but some of us squander it, some of us waste it, some of us don't make best use of it. It's my goal, my hope at the end of this episode that you'll be able to see just how much time you have in the day. And there's something in this episode that you'll be able to use to maybe get more out of your day. And that to me is a win. Absolutely a win in my book. Golden nugget number 1. Time is your most valuable and scarcest resource.
Hey, 1440 is the number that can change your life. And that number is the number of minutes we all have in a single day. And while, most of the people that I interviewed, they're not all doing the same 15 secrets either. The common thread was that they always spoke about minutes and the value of time. And when you truly realize just how valuable a single minute is, I mean, money, we can lose it and make it back again. Our health, we can get sick and get healthy again. Time, once it's gone, it is gone. Time is life. And so, in 1 minute, for your health, you can bang out some push-ups or sit-ups or take a cleansing breath. For relationships, you can tell someone that you love them or that you're grateful for them. In business, it takes a minute to have a breakthrough idea. And once you truly understand that, all of a sudden, you're not going to let people steal your time with all those God-a-minute meetings or other trivial things.
There's a certain number of minutes every single day that I have at my disposal, and so much of it is just wasted minutes. So if you start to capitalize on the time that you have, you'll realize, holy, I can get a whole bunch done. So golden nugget number 2, identify your most important task and do it first.
The most important task, the MIT, your MIT is, what is that project that is going to double the size of your business? What is that project that's going to get you the promotion or max out your bonus at work? And then break it down. It's like, what domino can I tip over today that's going to lean on the next one and the next one? And then we have to get in that discipline of scheduling time to work on our MIT first thing in the morning. Behavioral psychologist Dan Ariely talks about we are at our best for about a 2-hour window of time in the morning. We're at our cognitive best.
But what do most of us do? We stroll in with, to work, we open up email, we start working on everybody else's MITs by answering their emails and all that stuff. Before we respond to text, before we listen to voicemails, before we do email, we should work on our MITs.
Golden nugget number 3, work from your calendar, not a to-do list.
Stop using a to-do list. I was asking all of these people, self-made millionaires, what is your number one secret to productivity? They could have said anything. And none of them mentioned a to-do list. I was about halfway through the interviews, and finally I started doing the follow-up. I'm like, well, what about your to-do list? Give me some advice. They laughed at me. They're like, to-do list? We work from a calendar. And as I did the research, it turns out 41% of items that people put on their to-do list are never done at all. Wow. It's like a to-do list is the graveyard of, important but not urgent. If you really want to get something done, pick a day, a time, and a duration, and then live from your calendar.
Golden nugget number 4, to overcome procrastination, beat your future self.
So we need to think about, all right, how's that future evil version of ourselves going to jeopardize our best intentions? And, let's say we want to start jogging this week. We want to work out. Well, you know what? I know that my evil self is going to hit that snooze alarm. How do I fight back? I'm going to put my iPhone, I'm going to set that alarm, put on the other side of the room. Nice. So I got to literally get out of bed to shut it off. And that evil Kevin's going to say, oh man, I don't know where my workout stuff is. I'll work out tomorrow instead. Well, you know what? I'm going to beat that future version by putting my sneakers right at the end of my bed. In fact, I'm going to go to sleep in my shorts and t-shirt. So I just need to put my sneakers on and I'm dressed.
Nice.
So we just need to think about all the ways that we're going to procrastinate, all those excuses we're going to come up with, and try to beat them in the present moment.
Golden nugget number 5, there will always be more to do.
Back when I was a young and dumb entrepreneur, I was the guy who was just 8 hours a day wasn't enough. So I'd work 16 or 20, 5 days a week wasn't enough. I'd work 7. The girlfriend or eventually the wife would be like, hey, it's 6 o'clock, dinner's cold, when are you coming home? Leaving the office in 5 minutes. Then it's an hour later, I'm still in the office. And, one of the things that I learned from interviewing all these people is they have this sense in their bones, like there will always be more to do. Andy Grove wrote, he was the founder and CEO of Intel. And he said, my day ends when I'm tired and ready to go home, not when I'm done, because I am never done. A manager's work is never done. There's always more to be done, more that should be done, always more than can be done. Maybe, maybe we've decided that we're going to work a 10-hour day or a 12-hour day or a 6-hour day. Whatever you decide, be intentional about it, and then realize you've allocated other minutes for your health, which is gym time. You've allocated other minutes for your relationship, including date night or time with your kids.
Golden nugget number 6, always carry a notebook.
Everybody I spoke to talked about carrying a notebook. Richard Branson has written about it over and over again. He says the single most important possession is his little notebook. That's how he built, the Virgin brand. There's all these people that I interviewed that just swear by this power of jotting down little notes, whether it's journaling or notes from meetings or words of wisdom from the books they read, but it just really changes their life.
Yeah, and one of the things that David Allen always says that our minds are best used for processing different ideas, not to hold on to information. You'd be surprised when you start carrying around a notebook with you just how much information comes into your mind that you want to capture. Now, when you start capturing that information, you realize, holy crap, I've been holding on to so many good pieces of information and it's just been gone. I just lose it or I hold on to it and it just ruins the ability to allow your mind to free itself up to process new information, which is the best state for your mind to be in. Golden nugget number 7, control your inbox.
To be honest, many of us use our email inbox and text messages and other social media apps as a form of procrastination, as a form of a little reward. It releases dopamine. It's kind of like pulling that handle on a slot machine. It's got to be something good. And all of these companies out there and other people in our lives, they want our attention. And that's fine, but it can get in the way of our productivity. So the bottom line is, shut off the notifications on your phone on everything. It's okay to go to email or messages and all of that, but do it when you want to do it, not because someone else is calling you, kind of like Pavlov's dog, ringing a bell, and I'm reaching for my phone. I process email like anything else 3 times a day, morning, noon, and night. Now, again, the number's not so important, Ryan. I mean, I know people who only process it once a week or once a day, and others, people tell me, hey, I'm a stockbroker or whatever, I need to get back to people all the time. Fine, process it every 30 minutes or 15 minutes. The idea is to be intentional about it.
Shut off the notifications. So if you're out there and you haven't shut off your email notifications, what are you waiting for? I've done that a long time ago. I shut it off because it's just distraction. Golden nugget number 8, schedule and attend meetings as a last resort.
Now, we can't all, be like Mark Cuban and just say no to our boss and other people with meetings. Right. We can say no much more often. We can say no to a lot of meetings. We could say no to meetings before noon. Like, let's keep our deep work in the morning, then our collaborative work in the afternoon. And if you have to say yes to a meeting, say no to long meetings. Richard Branson again says, there's few meetings that need to last more than 5 or 10 minutes. And so that's just the idea. Let's say no as often as possible, at least one day a week say no, and then try to say no to long meetings.
Absolutely. And that actually, you know what? That breaks us into the next golden nugget number 9. Say no to everything that doesn't support your immediate goals.
They're not being rude, but the most highly successful people, they know what their values are, their goals are, and they fill their calendar with things that'll get there. And that doesn't leave time for a lot of other things. We're raised from being really young to like, hey, you want to be liked, so you want to help people. You're told it's nice to help people. You don't want to be rude. What's helpful to me is when I realize that every time I say yes to something, I'm actually saying no to another thing or many things.
I got myself into so much trouble, man, because I like to be liked, and so I would say yes to people all the time, even though I knew by saying yes, it would screw up my schedule. I'd have to push other things back. In the back of my head, I was like, you're not going to do this anymore. You're not going to go to the gym. Your whole schedule's thrown off course. Getting good at saying no and doing it in a very polite way, in a delicate way, is something that a lot of you out there have to do. Golden nugget number 10, follow the powerful Pareto principle.
Yeah, the Pareto principle is more commonly known as the 80-20 rule. And it's this idea that most of the results in almost any activity, 80% of the results, comes from about 20% of the activity. So it's just really pausing, slowing down, and looking at, with all the work that you're doing to build your business, to get your work done, what are the handful of tasks that are getting you most of your results? Just focus on those things.
Golden nugget number 11, focus on your unique strengths and passion.
We really need to remember the power of delegation. I'm a perfectionist, so nobody can do anything as good as I can. I've got to do everything to do it right. And the reality, Ryan, is that might be true, but we have to realize, again, think about that 80-20 rule. This feeds into this, that yes, if I delegate it to someone on my team, maybe it's not going to be perfect, but if it's 80% to perfect, I need to be okay with that and let it go, because now that just freed up all of my time.
Golden nugget number 12. Batch your work with recurring themes. So this one, you read in the book, Innovative Entrepreneurs, they really assign different themes to their office days so that employees can really concentrate on one specific type of work.
Well-known sort of consultant to consultants, Dan Sullivan, he talks about entrepreneurs should have focus days, buffer days, and free days. And the focus days, those are your game days. Those are the days where you are doing your most important activities. Usually it's sales or revenue related, but whatever your strengths are. A buffer day, that's the day to catch up on phone calls and emails and sign paperwork and, all the other administrative stuff we have to do. And then free days are days where you do not work. And what you're doing is you're resting and recharging, which all the Olympic athletes really talk to me about that.
Golden nugget number 13. If you can do a task in less than 5 minutes, do it immediately. So this really comes down to the touch it once principle.
I go to an extreme on this one. I walk to get the mail out of the mailbox every day. Well, most people, you come inside and there's the two piles. There's the junk pile and then the bills, and then later we go through the junk again, and then we go through the bills again. On my walk back up to the garage, I am sorting that junk and I'm dropping it right in the recycle bin before I even get into my house. Those bills, they go into the bill pile, which again, I process on Friday afternoons. I don't even open the envelopes until I'm ready to do them. You know, I don't care about what my electric bill or cable bill is. I'm just going to leave it sit there until I'm ready to process it. So, you know, email, you open an email when you're ready to process it in that moment. Just learn to touch everything once.
Golden nugget number 14, routinely use early mornings to strengthen your mind, your body, and your spirit.
Because, you know, I'm asking people, give me your number one productivity tip. So I'm expecting to hear about task lists and calendars and priorities. So many people said, my number one productivity tip is what I do in the first hour of my day. And they're not talking about getting work done. They're talking about their mind and body. Most of the people that I interviewed, these high performers, they weren't waking up feeling stressed, rushing to the office and diving into emails. That first hour, that first 30 minutes, they were investing in themselves for the long game.
Last but certainly not least, golden nugget number 15. Productivity is about energy and focus, not time.
You know, we all have the same 1,440 minutes a day. We can't get more of that. It's not about managing the time. So the idea is, first of all, take care of our bodies. Light cardio, lots of water, get good deep sleep. In addition to that, the most productive people, they actually take more breaks. So we're designed to kind of like sprint and rest. And so again, to each their own. You know, a lot of people like this Pomodoro technique. You know, you just sprint for 25 minutes, then pop up and walk around, get some air, get some water. The idea is to spend more time on single tasking, all out focused attention, you know, these working jam sessions, then a little break, and then get back to it.
It's time to break out and play a bigger game. I want to leave this with you. My mother used to love this, and I dedicate this to you and the dreamer in you. Leslie, say that thing for me, boy, that makes me feel good. It says simply this: if you want a thing bad enough to go out and fight for it, to work day and night for it, to give up your time, your peace, and your sleep for it, if all that you dream and scheme is about it, and life seems useless and worthless without it, and if you gladly sweat for it and fret for it and plan for it, and lose all your terror of the opposition for it, but if you simply go after that thing that you want with all of your capacity, strength and sagacity, faith, hope, and confidence, and stern pertinacity, if neither cold, poverty, famish, or gulf, sickness, or pain of body and brain can keep you away from the thing that you want, if dogged and grim you besiege and beset it, you'll get it. Have somebody in your life, develop a relationship with someone who can see what you can't see. And the reason that most of us can't see our greatness is because you can't see the picture when you're in the frame. You need somebody with you. You need an Angelo Dundee who's in the corner of Muhammad Ali, who said, "I'm the greatest," but every bout that he won a championship, Angelo Dundee was in his corner. Michael Jordan was called one of the greatest basketball players of all time, but he never won a championship until Phil Jackson showed up. There's some people that can pull some stuff out of you that you cannot pull out of yourself. This is why I have lived and what I've learned, and how the way in which you can access your greatness. And what I realize is that information won't do it. Information won't do it. He said the ideal situation for a man or woman to die, to have family members praying with them as they cross over. He said, but imagine, if you will, being on your deathbed, standing around your bed, the ghost of the dreams, the ideas, the abilities, the talents given to you by life, but you, for whatever reason, you never pursued those dreams. You never acted on those ideas. You never used those gifts. We never heard your voice. And there they are standing around your bed looking at you with large angry eyes saying, we came to you, and only you could have given us life. And now we must die with you forever. And the question is, if you died today, what dreams, what ideas, what gifts, what talents, what books, what voice, what stories will die with you? It's not in the Far East where there's oil in the ground. It's not in South Africa where there are diamond mines. It's at the wealthiest place on the planet. It's the cemetery. Because there you'll find potential never realized. There you'll find dreams that never become a reality. There you'll find voices of leadership that the world never heard from. What if you live your whole life only to discover that it was wrong? That it was wrong. That you live your whole life playing small. And God had so much more in store for you. Maybe that's why Henry David Thoreau said, oh God, to reach the point of death only to realize that you've never lived, that you've never scraped the surface of your potential. I know you've done things that you feel good about and that you're proud of, but I can tell you, you have so much more in you. You have so much more in you than you can ever begin to imagine. Look at a man the way that he is, he only becomes worse. But look at him as if he were what he could be, then he becomes what he should be. Who are you? What do you have? And why should I care? Can do better. All of us can have more. All of us can create more and leave a mark. We don't get paid by the hour. We get paid for the value we bring to the hour. And so what he did was he held himself accountable and he made a decision to do something different with his life. When you're ready to change your life, 99 and a half won't do it. In order to reach your goals and live your dream, you got to make a radical change in who you are. If you do what is easy, that's coming up with excuses, giving yourself a pass. If you do what is easy, your life will be hard. But if you do what is hard, your life will be easy. People that are hungry are willing to do the things today others won't do in order to have the things tomorrow others won't have. You're hungry for a new life. There's something in you that says, I want to play a bigger game. There's something in you that says, there's got to be more. There's something in each and every one of you that waits and listens to the voice of the genuine in yourself. It will be perhaps the only guide you will ever have. And if you cannot hear it, all of your life, your days will be spent on the ends of strings that somebody else pulls. And the reason that you're here is because you are going to pull your own strings. The reason that you're here, there's something about you that knows this is not it for me. I want to play a bigger game. The reason that you're here is because you are not willing to settle. The reason that you're here, that being in this energy and around people that are pursuing their greatness, you have something special. You have greatness within you. You have to have a mindset that I'm going to access my greatness, and that's why you're here.
The quarterback, Wilson, said his father said to him, why not you? Why not you? You should be successful. People are going to be successful. Somebody's going to win the Super Bowl. Why not you? And I say to you that there are people who have lost their jobs, who've got behind on their bills, who've gone through the embarrassment and the shame of bankruptcy and foreclosure, and yet and still they did not give up. They kept on fighting to get back to the top, and they did. Why not you? There are people that a doctor looked at them and said, "You're terminally ill. You've got 3 months to live," and years later, they're still here. Why not you? There are people who have lost everything, who've been down on their luck, and they didn't have 2 dimes to roll together, but yet and still, they didn't allow their circumstances and the situation of where they were to define their future. Why not you? Why not you? Life every day to all of us is a Super Bowl. Somebody's going to win. Why not you? Why not you? Live from your dream. Why not you decide that I'm going to control my destiny? Why not you decide I'm going to leave a legacy rather than liabilities? Why not you decide I'm going to make my life count? Why not you?
And as we begin to look at ourselves and look into the future, look at where we are right now, that what will your legacy be? Whose life will you touch? Whose life will you change? A few can touch the magic string, and fame is proud to win them. Alas, for those that never sing, but die with their music in them. At last, for those that never sing, but die with their music still in them.
You know what I hear? I hear the clock ticking. And time waits for no man. Life goes by, and it goes by quick. Don't waste those years. Don't waste them. Live them. I want you to be terrified of sitting on the sidelines and doing nothing. Waking up in 6 days or 6 weeks or 6 years or 60 years and being no closer to your goal. You've made no progress. That is the nightmare. That is what you really need to be afraid of, being stagnant. So, get up and go. That idea isn't going to execute itself. That book isn't going to write itself. Those weights out in the gym, they are going to move themselves. You have to do it, and you have to do it now. Don't wait anymore. Don't think anymore. Don't plan anymore. Don't contemplate anymore. Don't make any more excuses or justifications. Don't rationalize anything else. No. Take the risk. Take the gamble. Take the first step. Take action now. No complacency. No backing off. No slack whatsoever.
No more dreaming. Dreaming is over. I need specifics. What are you doing on Monday? What are you doing on Tuesday? What are you doing on Wednesday? You need to be very specific. It's time to put your pieces together of your puzzle. You need to be in a big damn hurry. Time is running out on you. There's 86,400 seconds in a day. The separator between me and you and people that win and lose is what we do with those seconds. And you're too slow. You're too casual. You think too much. You need to get in a hurry because there's an end to your life and it's coming sooner than you think. It goes by in a flicker and at some point it's going to be over.
And we want to make a conscious, deliberate, determined effort to start living life with a sense of urgency and using what we've got, using ourselves up, sharing what we brought into the universe to share. Because if we don't, nobody else will. Stop wasting valuable time. If we begin to live our lives as if each day were our last, our lives will take on a whole new meaning. when you die, when life is over for you. I don't want you to have one idea left in you. I don't want one dream left in you. When you die, I want you to go for broke. Every CD that you were supposed to do, every book you were supposed to write, I want you to get everything out your system.
We get one shot at this gig right here, life. So do not wait. Go forward. No more waiting for the perfect moment, and no more indecision, and no more lies. Take the action. Get out of bed, get your feet on the ground, step forward. Give every day everything you've got. Every ounce of energy, every bead of sweat, every drop of blood until your last breath. And don't let another day slip by.